Hi, everyone. Hello from Chicago. I'm here for a conference right now. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today is the holiday happy hour edition of the Health Tech Entrepreneurs Meetup. So this is recording. You can check out our past meetups on our MDC YouTube channel. Today's speaker is Dr. Joëlle Lavoie. She's a business development manager at the Coordinated Accessible National Health Network in Canada. I'll let her talk more about it a little later, but today is a special holiday happy hour edition. Just a few reminders. So this is a space where we can learn how to apply concepts from webinars and seminars and office hours to real life. So it's a chance for everyone to discuss their own experiences and share tips and advice. So let me know if there's something you'd like to hear about, or if you'd like to speak at a future meetup, that would be great. So keep sending feedback. I also want to take a moment to thank our sponsors. So here are sponsors, Tedco, Cooley, an IP law firm. They're great. Fulton Bank, giving small business loans to life sciences companies. And of course, our startup studio, MDC. All right. So I want to start with, this month, we're going to do intros in a more fun way for the end of the year. So I'm going to do the usual intros. I'm going to go down the list on my right. So when I call your name, please introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, what you're working on. And we're going to add on 2 truths and a lie, but about entrepreneurial stuff. And I want to make sure, we can keep going because Joelle's got a lot of awesome things to talk about. So it's going to be fast paced. So each person, please say 2 truths and a lie about something entrepreneurial, or you can just talk about other stuff if you want. And I want someone to jump in within a few seconds to pick out the lie. If no one jumps in, just tell us which one the lie is. So I can go first. So hi, everyone. I'm Neo Gamo. I run these meetups. I'm the founder and CEO of Neurosonics Medical. We're developing a minimally invasive focused ultrasound device for brain surgery and other applications. I'm also the VP of business development at the MDC studio, and I'm also a senior analyst at the Verte family of opportunity zone venture funds. All right, so my 2 truths and a lie. Let's see. I had a company that lasted 1 month. 2, I formed a company with someone I had never actually met in person. 3, I had an underground company for gene sequencing. Which one's the lie?
3?
Yep. I did not have an underground gene sequencing company. That was my friend. All right, Edwin.
Thank you. Hi, all. My name is Edwin Gershom, and I have a PhD in pathology, and I've worked at the intersection of science and business for about almost 10 years. Currently, I'm doing business development for a preclinical CRO, but prior to that, I have worked in an accelerator, and then also at my own startup, which was a SaaS platform connecting biotech researchers to CROs. I think the 2 or like the 3 things. I think one of them I'll steal from now. I started a company with somebody who I had not met in person. And second one, I would say entrepreneurs are, this is a tough one to come up with. I would say entrepreneurs are egoistic, like they have a big ego. And the last one, I would say they, I think I'll leave it for 2, maybe, yeah, just leave it to 2. One of them probably is a lie.
Anyone want to jump
or
in?
I'll let you all decide whatever it is. Maybe not a lie, but those are just common statements.
All right, we can all think on that.
Yeah.
Felicity?
Hi, I'm Felicity. I am a project coordinator at TechSice. Juliana is my CEO and she invited me on. But I was an entrepreneur previously. So my Two truths and a lie. I've started companies in 3 states. I was bought out after 2 months, and 2 of those companies were events company and one together, and one was a music management company.
Ooh, which one's the lie? Music management company?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh,
3 states.
And the one where you said you got brought up in a month?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a lie. It's hard to think of lies. Yeah.
I know, I mean, no, but that would be fun, right? If you got brought
That
up
would
in
have
a
been
month.
great.
realistic. Yeah, when it borderlines on real, possibly realistic.
Yeah.
Awesome. Gil?
So I'm Gil Blankenship, the founder of MDC. Let's see. So I founded a company that was 35 years old when I sold it. I founded 6 to 7 companies, I don't remember exactly. And just last year, I retired from the National Basketball Association.
The last one.
I was a point guard. What?
But you were a basketball player at some point, right?
I didn't make the NBA, sadly.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you, Gil. Anthony?
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Everyone, Anthony Camerata. Were we telling lies? Were we telling truth?
2 truths and a lie, and we have to guess the lie.
Oh, 2 truths and a lie. All right. All right. So I don't know. What can I tell you? I was nominated for a Grammy. And now I need 2 lies. I'm not good at this game. I don't know. Yeah, sorry guys. It's late in the day.
All right, but you were nominated for a Grammy?
No, it wasn't. No.
Okay. All right,
Probably-
awesome, thank you.
You probably didn't play in the NBA either, right?
No, I'm like, actually, I'm the perfect height. The only thing I'm tall enough for is I'm the perfect height of a race car driver
Oh,
because I'm like too short for the NBA, but too tall to be a jockey.
oh, interesting. Very cool. Thank you, Anthony. Jake?
Hi, everybody. I'm Jake Rosenhaft. I'm the founder of Continuous Software. We do custom software development and consulting around software development, generally focused on building that proof of concept or prototype, and then rolling into an MVP very quickly. My 2 truths and a lie. I started Continuous Software with my college roommate many years ago. I once worked a 52-hour day preparing a demo for a conference, and I work out of the house, but lost my home in a house fire, and had to figure out how to continue running my business while navigating all of that.
Did you say a 52-hour day?
Yeah, it was a few years ago. I was younger.
I'm sure
That's
that
a
was.
What's that?
That was the lie?
No, that was not the lie.
The first one.
Yeah, I did not start Continuous Software with my college roommate.
Awesome. Okay, Joëlle?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Joëlle Lavoie, and I'll give more information later.
you can
So,
go.
my truth to lie. So, the first one, I worked directly with more than 30 startups in the past 2 years. Number 2, I raised $1 million in seed funding last year. And number 3, I once cold called Mark Cuban to get money.
Number 3. That's true.
That's true.
How'd that go?
Yeah, the lie is I never raised seed funding.
You have awesome truth though.
So it did not work with Mark.
Okay. Awesome. Juliana?
Hi, everyone. I am Juliana Bonanno. I am the CEO and co-founder of TechSlice. We're a software development firm as well, but specializing in med tech devices. T-shirts and the like. I used to wear glasses. I starred on a Netflix show in the background, so maybe not starred. And I recently raised funding.
Netflix?
Nope, that one's true.
Oh. Used to wear glasses?
No, that one's true too.
Okay.
Did not raise funding.
Awesome, thank you. All right, Naveed?
Yes, hi everyone. My name is founder of Yektasonics. We developed therapeutic ultrasound phase array. And about truth and lie, I'm not sure what to say, so maybe we can skip if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. All right, and Wayne?
Good afternoon, Wayne Sternberger. I'm co-founder and CTO of Block Synop. We're developing a new patient monitoring device for measuring and reporting neural blockade status. And two truths and a lie. I am a holistic energy healer. Raising funding is a piece of cake. And I have a company that is an innovation cooperative.
Funding.
Right.
I didn't know the other stuff about you.
Well, you know, now you do.
Yes. Oh, fascinating. I'd love to hear more later. Awesome. I think that is everyone. So I will hand it off to Joëlle, our special guest today. So Joëlle, as I mentioned before, is a business development manager at the Coordinated Accessible National Health Network in Canada. And she's going to discuss her perspectives from working with entrepreneurs and various stakeholders in the healthcare space. And she's building an integrated and receptive marketplace to help businesses grow and scale. So she's going to share plenty of tips and advice for companies to go all the way from getting initial funding through procurement. So Joëlle, I'll hand it off to you. Please tell us about yourself and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. Thanks, Neo, and thanks for the invite. And it's nice to meet everyone. I think we have a great group today. So as you can hear from my accent, I am a French Canadian. So I'm currently located in Toronto, but I am from the province of Quebec. And I would say, like, I've always been passionate about innovation in healthcare. So I started by doing research. I did a master and a PhD in neurobiology. Then when I was doing my PhD, I sort of knew that research might not be the best career path for me. Still ended up at Johns Hopkins, and this is where I met Neo many years ago. I think it was in 2013, the first time we met. And I did a postdoc there. And when I was doing my postdoc, I was like, I'm in one of the best hospitals in the world, and I'm surrounded by brilliant people. But I felt there was something missing in my career. So I started exploring other careers outside in research. And I sort of discovered consulting and business. So that's sort of like how I started doing business. But then I knew there were some good opportunities in consulting, but I was like, okay, I don't want to be committed to a career in consulting, especially since I wanted to transition in healthcare innovation. So I decided to come back to Canada. I moved to Toronto and I did my MBA at the University of Toronto. And I really focused on healthcare management and innovation and entrepreneurship. So when I was doing my MBA, I did my internship at Mount Sinai Hospital in Toronto. And I was working mostly on like hospital operations. I did projects on like patient engagement, some like digital technology. And I really like how hospital works. And then I ended up having a job there with the Business Innovation and Development Department at Mount Sinai Hospital. And in my previous job at Mount Sinai Hospital, I was basically working with the revenue generating arm of the hospital. So our goal was to make money for the hospital. And I was sort of like building new businesses or projects or programs that would bring revenue to our hospital. And as you know, Canada, we have a public healthcare system. So that's like really important for us to find other ways to fund our organizations. And actually one of the projects I was leading was on, we were developing placenta-based wound healing products. So we were collecting placenta and we were making sort of like bandage from amniotic membrane. And that project was funded by the Canada Health Network. So I was sort of like part of the first cohort of my actual organization now. So I worked on the side of like the hospital and company. And when there was an opening with the Canada Health Network a few months ago, I mean, almost 8 months ago, I decided to join the team full time because I really like the mission, the vision of what we're doing. So that's sort of like how I came up where I am now. And I'm sure you all want to know, what is the Canada Health Network? Like, what are we doing? So it is a new program. So we are federally funded and we started in 2019. And basically, like when we talk with companies from Canada, most of the time what we hear is that it's really hard for them to scale in Canada. So as I mentioned, we have a public healthcare system. So like the procurement processes are very complex. Sometimes not all organizations want to implement innovation. So it's very hard for companies to actually get in the market in Canada. Most of the time, it's easier for them to just cross the border, scale in the US and beyond. But that's not what we want for, you know, our economic prosperity. Like we want our companies to stay here, grow here, and then they can be more competitive across the border. So this is sort of like our mission. So we want to support the growth of Canadian companies in the healthcare system. And the way we do it is that we are building an integrated market. So we are currently gathering healthcare operators across the country. And our healthcare operators can be like hospitals, private clinics. We have also home care providers and like provinces that are health authorities. And those healthcare providers are committed to trying and also purchasing Canadian technology. So the way we proceed, so we are funded with Cycle, is that every year we're going to go to our members that we call edges, and we're going to ask them, what problem do you want to solve this year? But most importantly, for which problem do you already have a budget that is allocated for? So in other words, we ask them, like, what are you ready to spend money on? And then they're going to give us like a long list of problems. These problems can be things like parking management, food court, medical devices, patient engagement. Like we really get a really broad like variety of problems. And then we're going to tell them, don't go to market now. So we're going to go to market for you. And we're going to try to find a Canadian company that can solve this problem. So we're going to look into the market. We'll try to find a company who can work on a commercialization project with our member. And during the project, usually it's like 3 to 9 months, we will basically provide funding to our member and we'll tell them, test the technology. Like build a business case for you to be able to procure the technology. So the goal of the project is really to, as I mentioned, test the technology, but also make sure that the product market fit is optimal. And the goal is to look for all the savings or all the patient care outcomes, like anything that can help the hospital make a decision and say, like, we need that technology, we need to buy it. And then at the end of the project, Hopefully the project will be successful. We expect our member to purchase this technology. So I'm not familiar with procurement processes in the US, but in Canada, when it's like public organizations, we have to go through like an RFP. We have like different types of procurements. So if there's an RFP, for example, our whole network of currently 25 members is an informal buying group. Therefore, all the members are listed on the contract. So for the company, it's really convenient because instead of doing I don't know, like 25 RFP, they do only one and they have access to 25 potential clients. And it's also easier for they have like shorter sales cycle. They can also showcase their solution in front of the whole network. Obviously, we present also the results of the project. So we really want to put we really want to showcase the solution to our whole network. So in a nutshell, that's sort of like what we do. It's a new business model. We started in 2019. It's still pretty new, but more and more we see a lot of successes, and we're implemented in healthcare, but we see other fields like cities or clean tech that are trying to also implement their model in their respective areas.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So when you put out an RFP, how do you, and then I assume you get a lot of applications from companies wanting to work on those solutions. How do you pick those companies?
Yeah, so for us, before we go through RFP, so the RFP is really the end of the project. We're going to do like a selection process that we call a call for innovation. So if you go on our website, the canhealthnetwork.ca, you will see a list of the call for innovation we had so far. And basically the call for innovation is like a problem statement that sort of highlights all the background information, sort of like the desired outcome from the solution. And then we invite companies to apply for the call for innovation. So it's sort of like similar to like a request for proposal, but there's no procurement that is like guaranteed at the end. It's really just an invite to apply and do the project. Mm-hmm. So once we receive all applications, because yeah, it's very popular, we receive many applications for each project. So we have like different, I would say, steps in our evaluation process. So the first one is that we're going to evaluate the written application. So we ask questions on like the management team, the experience, the solution, the R&D that was done to develop the solution, the business model, the commercialization approach, and also the competitive advantage. Mm-hmm. So we're going to score all of this with our evaluation committee. And then we will invite the finalists, usually it's up to 4 companies, to come and present at a demo day. So at a demo day, we want to see the solution in action. We'll also ask for additional information that was not necessarily in the written application. And again, we have our evaluation committee. We also invite sometimes more people from like a project advisory board who are potential interested buyer or SMEs from the network to evaluate the company. And then once we make a decision, like we will sort of have a match. So we will invite the company to create like a project charter, create a budget, just to make sure all the KPIs for the projects and like all the parties are aligned on what the project will look like.
Awesome. So do you notice any common themes or, you know, in startups that successfully go all the way through procurement?
Yeah, so I would say the companies that are obviously in a big market that is scalable, those are usually very successful. The thing is that our network, so we have different types of healthcare organizations in the network, but most of them have common challenges. So I would say the companies that can like scale across many different types of organization, like not only hospital, but let's say like long-term care home, for example, those are usually the one I would say that are more successful. The other thing I would say is the companies were, and that might sound obvious, but the companies are actually solving like an actual problem. Like sometimes some companies like they have a solution, it's sort of like a nice to have, but those the companies are actually bringing a lot of value in the system, and like when clinicians realize that they really need this solution, usually those companies will be also very successful. And I've also seen a lot of successful companies, when it's a device or it's a solution, it is very easy to use, but also to implement. For example, if there's any, I would say, integration with EMR, for example, that usually takes a lot of time, a lot of resources. So if companies can bypass this, usually it's a little easier to implement in hospital. I'm not saying that it's necessary, but it's just easier.
I see. Got it. And so along those same lines, what are common mistakes do you see from the companies? Or, is there anything you wish the entrepreneurs knew while they were working with you?
Yeah, definitely. So for us, we are really working with companies that have a solution that is ready for market. And the thing too is that with the commercialization project that we're doing, we still ask the company to be flexible and to be open to do any iteration, because we really want to make sure that the product market fit is optimal. Yeah. So I would say some mistake we've seen was that the solution was not fully ready for markets.
Okay.
So there's like a certain stage where I would say for us, at least for our business model, it's more optimal. So I would say for entrepreneur, like come see us when you know your solution is ready for market, but there's still room for iterations if necessary. And I would say another mistake I've seen is like not fully understanding the user experience. Like especially with medical devices, like obviously you have to work in collaboration with clinicians to develop those tools. But I've seen sometimes like nurses were giving comments like, well, that doesn't make sense in our flow. So I think you really have to understand like not only the user, but also how your solution fits in the whole flow.
Right. I see. Great. And so you mentioned, so actually, can you tell us about your, what do you do day to day when you work with these companies?
That is a good question. I would say there's no one day that is the same.
Yeah.
So I lead a team of analysts who are, by the way, amazing. So I would say like doing all the market scan, understanding the market, the solution, that's probably like good 50% of my time. I would say in terms of like working with the companies, so once the companies are part of the network, so they are accepted for a project with our members, like we're really going to take the company, help them scale, really understand like what is their strategy, what are their expectations, if there's anything else we can do to help them be successful. So all companies are different. We're working with some companies that sometimes have like 200 employees, some that have 3 employees. So they all have different needs, but to really understand those needs, this is also going to be something that I will do. I would say like in general, I'm also working with a lot of our partners to like help us develop our place in the ecosystem. They also give us great ideas of potential promising companies. So it's always good to like look around, try to find like who is the next big, company we need to work with.
Awesome. And then, so how do you do the market research that you do, and making sure the product fit is right? And you also mentioned KPIs that would be important for hospitals adopting these solutions.
That's a good question. So the first step is really to get a project proposal from our members, because we want to understand what problem they want to solve. So we're going to look into this and really try to understand, first of all, is that a real problem? And is that scalable? So we will study the proposal. We're going to go in our network. We're going to talk to people. We have like surveys we can send to clinicians to understand, like, do you already have a solution for this problem in your organization? If not, like, would you be interested in having a solution? And we also ask them, like, would you be interested in taking part of evaluation for this project? This is sort of like how we gather information on the problem itself. Then we're going to go and look more into like the market. Like, is that an actual market in Canada? Like, who are the players? Obviously, we're looking for Canadian companies. So we're like, one of the main questions we're asking is there a Canadian company out there that can solve the solution? It happened a few times that the answer was no. Unfortunately, there was no Canadian company that was strong enough or like that was ready for the market to solve this solution. So if we answer no to some of those questions, unfortunately, we might decline the proposal. But if we find one or many good, promising Canadian companies, like, we always think, like, is this company ready, or like, can this company win the market? Like, can this company be competitive at an international level? Because we know in RFP, it's a competitive international process. So those are sort of the things we ask for. And obviously, we also look for international competitors. So we're always thinking, if there would be an RFP today, like, who would win? Who would be most likely the winner? So that overall, that's like the initial market research that we're doing. And then we take a decision, we make a decision as a team if we should move forward with a project or not. And so far, we've been very successful in selecting the company. We had great success in the first cohort. We had like one RFP that actually was a national RFP. So we had one RFP, 7 buyers in 4 provinces. So for the company, they got 7 buyers and they did the process only once. So that was a big success from
that's amazing. Wonderful. So for those of us here, I think a lot of us are, entrepreneurs or thinking about entrepreneurship. What are strategies you recommend for us to try to get our solutions adopted in hospitals and other care facilities? Like, how do we, who should we be talking to? How should we be engaging with them? Like, what kind of info do they want to see?
That is a very good question. I would say that is the main question, like, how do you get in hospitals? So I always tell companies, like, you have to find your champion, and like, don't try to find it like when you're ready for commercialization, like try it now. So like, find your champion when you're developing your solution. Obviously, I hope you're working with physicians or users, but like, don't find only one champion. Find many people who can endorse your technology, because I would say, do not underestimate the power of the network. So if you have one clinician who endorses your technology, want to buy your technology once it's going to be ready, you can expect that this clinician is going to talk to their network. And I think there's a lot of potential for scaling this way. So I would say in the hospital, find who is a decision maker. Usually, if it's a medical devices, it's physicians, because they will be the users. But if it's, I don't know, like a solution about parking, like, who is responsible for parking? So really find the decision maker, build relationship with them. Obviously, it can be hard. Sometimes you cannot go directly to them, but there's always a way to find a way to contact these people. So yeah, I mean, there's no, I would say, one way to do it, but it's really about understanding who's going to use your technology and who will be able to endorse it.
I see. Awesome. And what kind of information do they want to see? Like, do they want to see, cost benefits, or, how effective it is, or I guess it probably also depends on, what you're developing and who you're talking to.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I would say it also depends, like clinicians, usually they want to see clinical data, but those who make decisions, or I don't know if it's like a manager of a department, managing a budget, they will want to see like, what is the value prop? Like, are you saving costs? Or are you saving time? I don't know. So I would say adapt your speech to whoever you're speaking.
Yeah.
But to me, if I have to make a decision, it's always like the business case, but also the clinical case. Like I want to see a mix of both.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So yeah, these are my main questions so far. So what would you say, or I want to finish with, what are 3 concrete steps medical device entrepreneurs should take right now to make sure they're on the right track?
Yeah, so just to piggyback on what I said, so I would say find your champions now.
Yep.
So like those people are very important in like the development of your technology. And if you can have many champions, I would say this is like the winning strategy. So yeah, so try to find your champions as soon as possible. The other one I would say, like, make sure you're solving an actual problem. And I talked about it, but like, make sure the problem you're trying to solve is like scalable. It's not only like one clinician who wants one specific feature. It's really a problem that is like scalable across the country and beyond. And I would also say, like, listen to your users and or payer, like whoever's use the technology, like make sure you talk to them, listen to them, iterate your solution. Like a solution should always be, I would say, like a living solution. So always be able to make iteration and make it better. And obviously, as your solution evolves, you can make iteration and basically make it more adaptable for the market.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I want to open up for any questions that anyone might have.
I missed apologize, I had to jump out in the beginning of the call. So you don't work with any US companies at all as far as startups go, or you do, or sometimes? I didn't quite catch that.
So not for the moment. So I am in Toronto right now, and so my organization, the Can Health Network, we are a program that is federally funded. So our goal so far, we are focused only on Canadian companies. However, we have big plans. So I'm sure in the coming years, we'll probably cross the border.
Awesome.
Who initiated the program? Was it pushed by the federal government or the provincial government? How did it start?
No, so it was actually so our co-founders, they were brainstorming on like what can we do to like bring the technology in the hospital, and we, like, our co-founders, we have like a physician, also like an entrepreneur, and they came up with the idea. It took many years to like develop the idea, the program, but then it was funded by the federal government.
Right.
So very creative people were behind that.
As far as like these companies applying, is there an opportunity for those companies to subcontract out any development work or not? Just because, like, it sounds like you're not accepting US-based companies, but if we've done like Toronto, like lab work, or have done integrations with Canadian hospitals and stuff before, but we're not a Canadian-based company, is there ways that US-based companies who are experienced in that work can still collaborate?
I would say yes. I mean, I'm sure they are using like US platform, or like, yeah, I would say that's not an issue, but like the solution itself has to be developed in Canada, and like the company for us to be eligible has to be like headquartered in Canada and or the majority owned by Canadian. But I'm sure there might be some US products that are used too.
Thanks.
Any other questions? No.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Joelle. This was really helpful and a lot of fun as well. So thank you everyone for coming. I'm in the midst of planning all the meetups for next year, so stay tuned. We'll start back up in January. So thank you again, Joelle, and thanks for coming, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thanks, everyone. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Real quick, Joelle, the first question isn't always, are you Québécois?
Yes, oui, je suis québécoise.
You guys got to hang out in Canada to know that one. All right. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.